What's going on, everybody? As some of you guys already know, I am a reseller or liquidator, whatever you want to call it. I've been selling stuff on eBay for probably 9 years now. Pretty hardcore the last 3 years, going on to my fourth year. And I liked doing it. Selling stuff on eBay wasn't hard at all. It obviously took work, but it was good work, especially since I got to stay home. Recently, I got into auctions last year. I believe it was in September. Started getting into live auctions, started selling my stuff there. Definitely changed a lot of things. I will kind of go over how this week went. It's obviously only Wednesday of this week, but that's all the shows I've got for this week. I only had two of them. I think I sold around 200 items. It wasn't a lot compared to a lot of other sellers. 200 items isn't that much. But this week was definitely tough. Lots of stuff went extremely cheap. Being that it is pre-owned, a lot of stuff went way too cheap, and we'll be talking about all that stuff a little bit later in this video. But this week was definitely tough. As somebody that resells, lots of stuff that went on this auction went a lot cheaper than what I might have sold it on eBay for. And I could literally show you comparison prices of what I sold stuff on auction for and then what I ended up selling stuff on eBay for. I'm gonna show you guys what we sold just today. I think this auction was 2 hours today, but today we ended up selling decent amount of accessories. Got some rigid. We ended up selling some rigid too. Rigid didn't do too bad. There was a couple people that wanted rigid. Small selection of people. There's small crowd on auction for those. Lots of Ryobi stuff. Doesn't look like too much, only because it's mainly small stuff. This saw, I'll tell you guys about later. Boy, that was tough. We ended up selling 21 degree framing nailer, also on auction. Did not put this up on auction. I was not about to take a big hit on it. Also rigid here. Decent amount of accessories again. Also rigid here. 3.5 or 3/8 inch subcompact brushless right angle saw or right angle impact wrench. Sheesh. It's a mouthful on that one. But decent amount of stuff. Everything is technically pre-owned, so it's not necessarily sought after being pre-owned, but still not too bad. All of this, I think it was about 134 items that I sold here. Not everything is here. We got a couple other small stuff that we ended up selling that is in a smaller corner, but I think it was 134 sold listings or sold items. But it came out to, I believe, was 34 boxes only. So some people won a lot of stuff here. Some people just went crazy and and spent a lot of stuff, but they didn't spend too much. They saved a lot. And I'm going to go over some of the items we sold and what they sold for, and maybe even show you some comparisons on what this might sell for on eBay. Smalls like this, especially pre-owned, I've sold on eBay before. Used to sell on eBay. All this small stuff I used to. But it's not worth it just selling this by itself on eBay. Especially having to compete with free shipping, it's just not worth it. All of this stuff here, I ended up making more out of it than I probably would have. But even though a lot of this stuff still went cheap. So here I'm in my office and I'm packing boxes. I got my own custom sized boxes. I've been selling Ryobi tools and rigid tools for so long that I just know the sizes that I need, and especially since I'm getting pre-owned, most of these don't have their own boxes, so I need to order some. I don't generally like to ship priority mail because why should I spend extra money on priority mail? But you will see that sometimes I throw a tool into a priority mailbox, and the reason I do that is because Whatnot actually has a pretty good deal set up with USPS, where All the priority mail boxes are $9.21 each. Doesn't matter if it's a small box, poly mailer, or a large box. It's all $9.21. And on auction, they pay shipping. I do it in such a way where they only pay $9.21. If I have to use my own custom sized box, I end up doing that. Sometimes I pay extra for shipping, but $9.21 through auction helps out way more than just free shipping on eBay. All right, let me show you guys some of the deals that people got. And I'm telling you, when I say deals, it's more like steals. Starting off with this orbital sander, usually these are really hot sellers for me, and I can easily sell them for 40 bucks on eBay with free shipping. For some odd reason, people were sleeping, and this only went for 17 bucks. Next, we got this jigsaw, and this one ended up selling for $31, which still was pretty good deal. Now, these rigid 18-volt 3/8 right angle impact wrenches, I ended up having two separate auctions. One of them sold for $59, which is pretty low, but the other one sold for $74. You never really know what you're going to get out of them, but still, huge deal, which retail, these things are $199. Same story on these half-inch mid-torque impacts. One ended up selling for $54, the other one sold for $69. Now this Ryobi right angle drill was just criminal. This thing literally went for $31. When retail on this thing is $120. Again, I don't know what was happening with everybody. Maybe this just was a bad day. But again, this jigsaw also went for $31. When retail on this thing is $180. I just don't understand people. Now these two mid-torque half-inch impacts, they sold pretty close to each other. One of them ended up selling for $79, the other one sold for $76. I almost threw tables on this compact SDS drill when I saw how much this thing sold for. These, for some terrible reason, are so bad on auction. Retail is $134. This one sold for $31. Remember the 6.5-inch high performance saw? Yeah, these are the absolute worst on auctions. I can easily sell these and sell them all the time for 65 bucks on eBay. This one sold for 27. Now, one of the items I didn't do too bad on was this 21-degree framing nailer. This one actually ended up going for 124 bucks. It was pretty decently pre-owned, but somehow I think I hyped it up good enough to where people said, hey, let me grab it. And it went for pretty good. Overall, some days are better than others. This week was just extremely tough. People were not bidding things up. Probably just spent all their money elsewhere and just wanted a big deal. Let me know in the comments if you ever grabbed a tool for super cheap and pretty much ran away with it as a steal. We're curious to see what kind of deals you guys are grabbing. I think it ended up taking me about 5 hours to pack all the boxes. Again, I think I ended up shipping some of them that day, but the rest of them had to go the next day because USPS kind of caught me between packing boxes. But overall, even though some of these items went for super cheap, I still ended up making just a little bit to keep going. Sometimes you just got to take the loss and continue. It's better than having these tools sit on eBay for a month or two. Rather get tools out faster and just continue on. But this is kind of how this week went. Deals were everywhere. Steals were, again, absolutely everywhere. And if you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button and tune in next week to see what else we sell and what kind of deals people grab. See ya.